Hello, I'm Stewart Jackson. I work as a family counselor, and these days families are particularly stressed. None of us have dealt with many pandemics in our lives, so I'm sure, well, at least I haven't. This is a stressful time on every family around the globe. We're experiencing such loss of family members, friends, jobs, income, uh, savings, um, a loss of work, all things that affect us. So I think that much of the stress that we absorb in here uh, is really a part of something that's happening in our world that we're a part of. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It's just that we vary in how vulnerable we are to the anxiety that's in the world in which we live. I think of anxiety as the body's response to threat. And most of us feel threatened, or we're doing things so that we can protect ourselves from threat. I don't think I've ever been to a store wearing a mask before, but I have now. And I suppose I hope you are as well when you have to go out. Uh, in our families, there are some ways that we can manage stress. We're not going to fix stress until we get a vaccine, and that the level of threat from this virus is down. Um, so our choices is to manage it. So what can we do to manage the stresses in our families? Families are together more now. They're cooped up in the house, some feel. Uh, some feel even more isolated. If you have been living alone or been recently uh, had to live alone, well, maybe you're more isolated rather than crowded with others. But if you're living with others and you're finding that people's fuses are shorter and that there's misunderstandings and there's people are tense with each other, then that's something you're absorbing from our world, most likely. So how can we move forward on this? And today, and in the next one of these video chats, uh, I'll be talking about communication in the family, particularly between couples. Um, most everybody says communication is a key component to a relaxed and safe um, relationship. And this can be with parents or between uh, parents and children, or between uh, uh, the parents who are raising the children. So the first thing I'd like to say is that uh, it works best, I think, when we come to communicating with our partners or children with an attitude of we're practicing. That is, we're doing the best we can. Given our stress levels, it's likely that we might miscommunicate or at least misunderstand. So, an attitude of we're practicing this can alleviate some of the pressure we put on ourselves. I don't mean that you come to your partner and you say, hey, I'd like to practice some communication with you. I mean, that would be strange. But I do think that an attitude of I'm doing the best I can given the situation can help this. It helps to remember that with human beings, we're aware of not only what we're trying to say, but we're trying to take in what the other is saying too, and it's a full person experience. We communicate with facial expression, gesture, posture, volume, tone, and finally content. And content is the last thing we get. I mean, remember your physics class? No? Well, short reminder, light travels at about 670 million miles an hour, and sound travels at about 760 miles an hour. So we're going to see something more quickly than we hear something. And we're going to understand it even more slowly than that. So back in the hippie days, there was a popular poster that a lot of people had in their apartments or rooms. It said something like this: I know you think you heard what I said, but I'm not sure you understand what I mean. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Well, in the next chat, I'll be talking some more about some practical ways that people can be clearer in their communication. So, but I hope practicing and realizing that this is a big, complex experience that's made more complex by the stress we're under, not that you are somehow default, there's something wrong with you. Well, be well, be strong, and stay at home.